Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Bitcoin is breaking out and it's causing a ton of new value to flood into the cryptocurrency markets. This is what I've been updating you guys with over the last few days because I've been strongly expecting that Bitcoin was going to continue to rally like it has. Bitcoin is now breaking through all major resistance and it's looking like $14,000 and beyond is the next likely target over the next couple weeks. Today we're going to be diving in. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some updated analysis inside of Bitcoin. We're also going to be looking at Ethereum, and then we're going to go over the Bitcoin dominance as well as the total market cap so you guys are in the awareness of all of the cool updates that have been happening and how my trading plan is stacking up for the next couple months to follow. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have the best Discord community that you guys should really join. 17,000 members and growing so fast. It's free for anybody that wants to. All you guys got to do to join is click inside the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Now, on the Discord server, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signal. So if you want to copy my entire portfolio, you want to follow along with every single trade that I take, and you guys want to be able to get live updates on the market, make sure you guys join and sign up for the signals, or you guys can also join and sign up for my video course, which is 20 educational videos that are going to teach you guys all of my strategies for profiting. So if this is interesting to you guys, make sure you stay all the way to the end of this video because then I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. One final thought is to make sure you guys download my free ebook. It's free for anybody that wants to. 38 pages long, full of exciting information that's going to teach you guys the ins and outs to trading and investing. You guys are going to get in some more in-depth analysis as far as what my group comes with. And then I've also got a 10-part quiz in there so you guys can go through, read the contents of the ebook, and then quiz yourself so you guys gain all of the knowledge that is offered for you inside of that. So make sure you guys download that. It's free. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing update today. Alrighty guys, so here we are taking a look at Bitcoin, and as we can tell, Bitcoin is breaking past all major resistance and is starting to make its next impulse. This is a very encouraging sign. Whether you're holding Bitcoin or not, that's not what's important. What's important to understand is that Bitcoin leads the way for the altcoin markets. And so whatever Bitcoin is doing, the altcoins are going to follow. Now, even though we're seeing altcoins kind of bleed because of Bitcoin pumping, this isn't going to last long, and in fact, we're going to start seeing a lot more rises inside of the altcoins when we do manage to get our first short-term sell-off. The way it's looking with Bitcoin is it's not looking like we're going to slow down until about 14K. 14K is just going to be my logical resistance because that's the resistance that we saw at the cycle high. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for. I'm expecting Bitcoin to rally up strong until about 14K. In 14K, I wouldn't be surprised if we stop here, retest the highs at about 12,200, and then we go up much higher. I think that ultimately this is taking us back to that all-time high mark or near around that all-time high mark, and this is kind of what I've been updating you guys with for a while. I've been expecting that by the end of this new year to close out 2020, we're going to be near or at around that all-time high, which is going to be taking us closer to 20,000. My guess is we're somewhere between 20,000 and 17,000. That's the logical resistance level that I think that we're going to be sitting at to close out this new year, because this is very cyclical with how the time frames line up. We go through these 4-year cycles. Every year is either the top, the bottom, or a reversal point inside of the market. This was the cycle high. This was the cycle low. A year from that point takes us to the first higher high on that new macro bull trend. And then a year from that point takes us to the all-time high. And we can see that this was the case even back in the last cycle here. And if we throw it back, I'll kind of break down what I mean by that, because this is very much the same type of action that we saw in the last cycle, and it's behaving very similarly, which is why we need to pay attention to this. You know, we got the cycle high right around that new year. It came a little bit before, but it's not enough to really cement that belief. And so we get our first top right about here at the new year. A year from that point takes us to our cycle low, which came about there. A year from that point takes us to our first higher high on the new bull trend right here. And then a year from that point takes us to the all-time high and eventually the breakout of that all-time high. And this is the way that the cycles work. We go through these 4-year accumulations. Year 1's the top, year 2's the bottom, year 3's the first higher high, and year 4 is the breakout of the all-time high. And we're seeing the exact same things this time around, almost no different. And if we come over here, you guys will start to see that. Year 1 is the cycle high, year 2 is the cycle low, year 3 is the first higher high, and year 4 is the all-time high and the breakout of the all-time high. And so we're still in between the late stages of year 3 heading into year 4, which I expect to head near that all-time high mark, about 20,000. And so when we see this, guys, you know, I think that now's the part where we actually do start to go parabolic. And if we look at the last cycle, pretty much what happened at year 4, Year 4 saw a quick run up. In the latter stages of year 3 heading into year 4, we saw this quick increase in value that happened pretty suddenly. And we pretty much just went straight to that all-time high mark. And I actually expect that this is going to be similar. You know, this is where things really started to ramp up in the last cycle. And that's pretty much exactly where we're at today, this time around once again. You know, I think that we're just leading up for one more quick impulse that's going to take us to that all-time high mark before, you know, we might get a short-term sell-off there. But ultimately, I expect us to be breaking new all-time highs very much heading into the end of this next year. 2021 is going to be the year where we have explosive price action. Markets are going to be going up with ease. Everything that you buy is going to go up in value. And that's why, you know, we need to be preparing, and we should have been preparing all before this, because now is the point where the market gets exciting. This is where we've been waiting for the parabolic movement that we've been waiting for so long, and this is where we're actually going to start to get that. And so we need to do our part by being ready and being tied inside of the market in a way that's going to see us the most profit over the next couple months. And this is really the way that I see Bitcoin behaving. I think that we don't have a logical resistance until about 14K. From 14K, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a sell-off to retest the cycle high that we saw here, this resistance. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a short-term sell-off back down to about 12,200, ultimately before going up much higher. And so that's what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin. Now let's dive into Ethereum real quick. Let's talk about some things here, because Ethereum is just following and lagging behind Bitcoin. And we can see that you guys obviously know that I was expecting more bearish downside. I expected we'd have one more leg lower, but it's no longer like we're going to get that leg lower. And I think it's less likely as the days go by, because Bitcoin is asserting its dominance. Bitcoin's breaking out. If Bitcoin's breaking out, the rest of the altcoin markets are going to follow suit. And so there's no real reason to suspect much more bearish action. And in fact, I am much more leaning bullish. I don't think that we're going to get that downside target. And so I've done my part to kind of structure some more buy orders. I did manage to buy down here at $340 during the initial sell-off, so I did get filled, and I did just buy some more over here just recently. And so I'm looking for the long term. You know, guys, if I missed out on the downside target, it's whatever, because ultimately I still got in at a cheap price. And so when this thing pumps, I'm still set up to make a lot of money. And so I just wanted to give you guys that update. I'm no longer bearish. I'm no longer expecting bearish downside. And in fact, you know, I've had all my shorts closed for about 2 weeks plus now. And so I didn't even have my shorts open for very long, because you know, Bitcoin in the crypto markets didn't really give us much of an opportunity to short. And so I closed out of all of that. I'm very much leaning long, looking for low leverage longs of Ethereum right now as we start to break out, because I expect this next move to happen pretty quick, because really all we're doing, and I had this drawn a couple different ways, you know, really the way I've been looking at this recently is the fact that this is just a bullish retest of some of our previous levels that we've had in here. And that's really the way that I'm looking at this point on, is the fact that this has been a major bullish retest of all of our previous resistance points, because this is really where we were consolidating below resistance for quite some time, you know, many months that we were here in this range, and we've now just flipped it and it's acting as support. And so this is a very encouraging sign for all of the bulls here that have been waiting to see what's going to happen with Ethereum. You know, we've had this resistance that takes us all the way back to 2017 in the last bull run. During the cycle top, we started selling off, and this is where we made a short-term relief bounce. And then it became resistance here, it was resistance here, it was resistance here after COVID. And we've now flipped this and it's acting as support. And so this is a very encouraging sign. You know, this is the exact textbook example of a disbelief phase, which if I pull up the Wall Street cheat sheet, you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about, because I've made videos talking about this in times past. This is really what I would consider being the disbelief phase, where after the cycle high, we crash, we fully retrace, we make this long rounded accumulation structure. And then the disbelief phase is really where we start first breaking out. And this is pretty much the exact point that Ethereum's at today. You know, we went through this big cycle, sharp crash. We rounded out sideways for a long period of time, and now we're first starting to get our initial incline in the new parabolic cycle. And so this is the disbelief phase. This is where nobody thinks it's going to keep going back up again, and this is where we get left behind if we weren't ready to invest. Thankfully for me, I'm more than willing to adjust and trade my trading plan through. Whether I'm wrong, whether I'm right, that's not what matters so much. All that matters is that you're profiting. And for me, you know, even though I was bearish throughout here, I'm quickly rethinking my trading plan, and I'm not getting stuck on that bearish perspective. And so, you know, even though that I was expecting more downside, my trading plan has changed. The market structure has done nothing but looked bullish. And so for that, it caused me to rethink my whole plan. But when I rethink this, it's very obvious to tell what is going on. We're just holding support and flipping this major resistance level. And so now is going to be the last good time to buy for your long terms. Really, this entire dip was a great time to buy for your long terms. I did my part by accumulating as much ETH as I possibly could. Wish I could have accumulated a little bit more if it would have dipped, but you know, sometimes that's just not the way that the market's going to work. And so for that, we have to do our part by changing and revising our trading plan so that we can adjust and we can continue to make profit, because that's the most important thing. It's not so much about being wrong or right about each and every trade that you take, because technically, if you manage your risk to reward right, you should only have to win 33% of your trades to be profitable. Most people don't realize that. It's not so much about being right or wrong. It's about having a trading plan, adjusting that trading plan if you're wrong, and how to manage it if you're actually right. And so in this case, I was wrong. In this case, I've readjusted. And in this case, I'm now holding net long, looking for more upside. And really, guys, the next upside target for me with Ethereum is about right here. At about, you know, $800 approximately. That's the next spot that I'm going to be looking for with Ethereum. This is when I would be looking to kind of take profits. My long-term bags, I'm holding those long-term. I don't really have any intention of taking profits, but for you guys watching this video, this is going to be the logical spot that I would expect Ethereum to start to sell off a little bit. We might get a little short-term sell-off before ultimately I expect this thing to just continue to go up. Really what we saw right here will probably be repeated upwards of this resistance here. We could even overextend a little bit depending on how crazy bullish Ethereum wants to get. We could even head upwards of $1,000 before we see a pullback. And that's the thing that we have to understand here, guys. This was a very long period of accumulation. In fact, we were here for over 650 days. We'll just label it from over here to the breakout point. About 700 days in which we consolidated and went sideways. And now this is us breaking out of this 700-day consolidation range. And so we could really see a quick buyback ensue from this level. And I would not be the least bit surprised to see Ethereum at $800 to $1,000. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see it overextend upwards of $1,000 before we even get any sizable correction. And so this is the thing to understand, guys. I think a lot of people have been traumatized due to how corrective this bear market was, due to how consolidative, due to how crazy choppy it was all the way through as we consolidated sideways. And I think a lot of people are going to be expecting more of the same, but this is the part of the cycle where we just flipped this major 700-day range, and this is the part where we start to see a lot of bulls enter the market. This is where you start to see the biggest bulls that were too skeptical about all of this. You know, they were thinking to themselves, you know, we haven't really established a higher high. We could break through this range and fall to new lows at any point. I'm not going to buy. I'm going to wait until we get a breakout of this range. And this is exactly what is happening right now. This is the breakout of this range. And this is where a bunch of conservative traders are going to be looking to average into Ethereum positions for their long-term bags. Most conservative traders will always wait for a breakout of market structure. In this case, we were just ranging sideways. And we weren't able to actually break higher or lower until this move over here. And so this is the first time we've actually got that breakout. Now is the time where we're going to see a lot of big buyers that have been waiting on the sidelines starting to deploy cash and capital. And this is going to cause the price of this to really start to skyrocket. And so we need to be aware of that. We need to be prepared for that. Because if you're watching this video and you haven't managed to accumulate any Ethereum, you've been on the sideline about all of the crypto investing up to this point, you know, now's the time where you really don't want to mess around. We're sitting at just under $400. Super good buy opportunity, in my opinion, that is only going to continue to decrease as the value of this is going up. In my opinion, I am really not looking to accumulate any more long-term Ethereum. After this point, this is the end of all of my long-term accumulation for Ethereum. And the reason for that is because we're right here at about the end of October. I plan to scale out late 2021. And so, you know, I don't want to cut it too close. I want to make sure that I'm getting that tax break for the holding at least 1 year and 1 day. Because if I do that, then I'm going to maximize the biggest percentage of my ROI. I'm only going to get a 20% tax cut instead of something much higher. And so that, for me, is the biggest reason why I'm not going to be accumulating any more long-term Ethereum. I just really like what we're seeing as follows. And so now is the time to pay attention for this stuff, guys. You know, we can see that that the Bitcoin dominance is really starting to ramp up. We're heading closer and closer towards that resistance, which has caused me to buy some more Ethereum. I really do like all of what we're seeing right now. Really, this is just a bullish retest. This is just a bearish retest of our previous resistance before ultimately we come falling much lower. And so this is the way that I'm going to personally be looking to trade through this market. You know, we're kind of converging at this point where we have horizontal resistance right here at 63.3%, and then we also have diagonal resistance that's converging pretty close to that same point. That would be closer to about 64%, but either way, you know, I expect that this resistance is going to hold before ultimately it's the altcoins' turn to shine with all of what we're seeing, because right now the Bitcoin's stealing the show, right? We obviously can tell Bitcoin's really starting to rip. It's really starting to rally hard. And because of that, many of the altcoins have declined, or they just haven't really done anything at all. This is because the Bitcoin dominance is actually climbing. Money is leaving the altcoins and it's flooding into Bitcoin because people are getting sick of their altcoins going down so much. They see Bitcoin ripping and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose out on this. So they FOMO buy into Bitcoin. And that's why we're seeing the dominance rise. But the thing about this, guys, is the dominance is rising straight into resistance after we've already had a confirmed downtrend. I expect that this next drop is going to be one that happens quick, and there's going to be a ton of profit potential for altcoin investors. And so if you're an altcoin investor, if you're not holding any Bitcoin, or you're sitting here wondering if you should FOMO buy into Bitcoin, I don't really think that now is the time to do that. Now, the time to do that would have been down here at the low point when Bitcoin would have been about 10.5K. That's when you would have really wanted to buy Bitcoin. And so if you're watching this, now's the time to just hold off. Now's the time to buy more altcoins and just keep investing into those projects that you like, because ultimately when this thing tops out, that is going to cause a ton of profit to be flooding into those altcoins, DeFi, NFTs, altcoins in general. They're all going to be popping off, and that's why it's really important that we're aware of all of this stuff, because what I'm going to be doing is hedging Bitcoin profits into altcoins as we venture closer to about 63% dominance. Once we hit that level, that's going to be my cutoff point to where I'm going to be starting to average back into some of these alts. And so I want to give you guys this update to talk about a couple things here. Now quickly, before we wrap things up, let's talk about the total market cap, because this is looking very, very, very bullish. Now, what I wanted to share with you guys right now is the fact that we're pretty much breaking out of this major resistance that we had. Now, this is a resistance that has really held us ever since the cycle high here. After we bottomed at about December of 2019, we rallied up into the summer, and then we topped out about June to July, and then that's really where we got our cycle high. We made one more attempt to break out. That was prior to COVID, and we got stuffed just short. And now this was also resistance as we've rallied back up before this initial correction. But we are now getting another breakout from this. I expect that this move that we're seeing right now is going to be the deciding point where we do break out. I think that we're going to rally upwards of about 500 bill before correcting back down, and then ultimately going up much higher. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for. I don't think that we're going to have a lot of consolidation, a lot of sideways action. I think that that was already done back here. And really this is going to be the start of our parabolic rise, where everything's going up in value. You're shooting fish in a barrel. You buy one thing, it pumps. You buy another thing, it pumps. And that's the fun part of the cycle, guys. This is really what I've been waiting for so long. I've been just dollar cost averaging. I've been accumulating all of my altcoins, all of my Bitcoin for quite some time at this point. And I've just been preparing myself for when the market actually starts to go parabolic. And that's really what I think is where we're at right now. You know, we've had such a strong buyback ever since COVID, and we've really done nothing but go parabolic. And I think that this number is only going to continue to grow as more stimulus is produced, as more awareness of cryptocurrency, more adoption. We just had more adoption with PayPal is actually going to be accepting crypto transactions on their platform. And so that's a really big thing. You know, that's millions and millions of dollars worth of other people, worth of influence that is actually going to be able to see the spotlight on crypto to where something like we've never seen before. And so that's a really encouraging sign. You know, we have all these institutions that have already been accumulating. Now we're starting to see other institutions start to step in. It's a very bullish sign for crypto adoption, which I think is going to be reflective in this chart. We're going to see a massive buyback. We're going to see a ton of parabolic moves as we venture closer to this all-time high mark. And so anyways, guys, this is the video I had for you. Wanted to go over some basic thoughts, basic perspectives with what I'm seeing with my technical analysis. Wanted to share with you guys why I think that we're so bullish, why this number is only going to continue to go up, and why we're only going to get more parabolic from here. Now, quickly, before we wrap things up, I wanted to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can sign up for the video course and signals for the people that want to. always remember, guys, when you're getting into this market, the most important thing that you can do is to follow somebody that knows what they're doing. And this is exactly what I provide inside of my Discord server. I offer the ability for you guys to copy my entire portfolio. You guys will know exactly what I'm holding in my long-term portfolio, what percentages I've allocated to each investment, so you guys can copy along, know exactly what I'm doing. You guys will also get access to all of the private trades that I post. So any DeFi tokens, any NFT projects, any other cryptocurrencies that I find out there that are looking like a really profitable setup, I will also share those to you guys inside the signal so you can follow. And I've also added private VIP videos for all of my members that are inside of there. And so if you're somebody that wants to follow along with somebody that knows what they're doing, this is ultimately what you're going to find inside of my group. You guys will get access to my portfolio. Guys will get access to all of my private trades, and you're also going to get access to private VIP content that is only made inside of my Discord. And so if you guys want access to that, remember to sign up. If you guys would also, I also offer my 20-part video series, which is my video course. You go through some beginning stuff, trend lines, support and resistance, intermediate stuff, market cycles, emotional psychology, advanced stuff, trading plans, risk management, and some things like that. And so ultimately, there's a guide for you in every single sense. If you guys would rather just copy what I do, you guys can sign up for the signals. If you guys would rather do this on your own and learn the skill set needed to require to how to profit inside of this market, then this course is going to be the thing for you. Now, you guys can purchase them together, or you guys can purchase them separate. If you guys can only pick one, I always recommend going with the signals first, because ultimately you guys can get in, copy my portfolio, follow some of my trades, make this profit with me, and then you can use that profit to then buy the course if that's really the route that you want to take. But ultimately, the signals are going to be the thing for you, because it's going to help you guys get in with a sound trading plan. You're going to know exactly what I'm doing with my money, and so it's just really easy to follow along with. Now, remember, guys, links are provided for you in the description to go and sign up for my VIP course or signals. Once again, guys, to download my free ebook, at the very least, even if you don't buy any of my stuff, make sure you guys support the channel by downloading that free ebook. It's got a ton of information. I've spent a ton of time working on it, over 38 pages long, full of exciting information that's going to give you guys the ins and outs to trading and investing. You're going to go through some basic terminology, some basic trade setups and principles, and then I've also got a 10-part quiz in there as well, so you guys can go through, read all the information, and then quiz yourself on the knowledge learned so you guys can get on the right path of profiting today. Once again, links are provided for you in the description for all of those. I look forward to seeing you guys inside of my VIP courses and groups. And with all that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.